Hey Star Wars fans, this is Star Wars Nut77. My last video I showed you my orange Power of the Force 2 orange back collection. In this video, today's episode, we're going to take a closer look at the green card. It came out in 1996 through 1997, so let's check it out. Take a closer look. Okay guys, I got all my collection of green cards. I got the complete collection out and about. I want to show you, do a quick review and show you what I got, explain a little bit of history about these figures. These figures, Power of the Force 2 figures, were released by Kenner in 1996. This particular line of figures lasted only 2 years, up until 1998, when they released. They were still green cards, but they were the slideshow. They had like the slides on them. I'll show you. I'll do a video on those later on. But these particular ones with the photos and stuff only lasted 2 years. There were a lot of repacks from the orange cards, which I did a video on before. And there's a couple of variations I want to explain to you. Now before I show you that, though, I want to explain to you there's 3 different collections to watch out for. If you look in the very top right corner, see how this particular figure says Collection 1? Well, there's 2 other collections, and there's no rhyme or reason as far as why they broke them up into each collection. It's not like Collection 1's the good guys, or Collection 2 are the bad guys, or, it's not based on movie or anything like that. It's just kind of random. And they weren't, Collection 1 wasn't released earlier, Collection 2 wasn't released later. It's kind of random, like I was explaining, okay? But there's a couple of variations I do want to dive into real quick. If you notice here, okay, I'm going to show you 2 Yodas. This one has a hologram on it, and this one doesn't. So that's something to watch out for. Now, if you were to peel the sticker off, it would just have the photo underneath, okay? Another thing to watch out for is, if you see on the very top right corner here, it says Collection 1. See how it's kind of a small print there? If you look on this particular figure, it's actually a larger print. And I don't know how well you can tell the size on the print, but it's different. It seems like the larger print are a little harder to find and not as common as the smaller print. So keep an eye out for that when you are collecting these, okay? Also, one other thing to watch out for are the numbers here. 01, like I was explaining in my last video. If it was 02, that's a later shipment. 00 is the first shipment. So the lower the number, those last 2 digits there, the higher the value of the figure. It's very strange. But you got the Kenner, and you got these the fan club here, and they kind of, orange cards, the initial orange cards, they had a lot of detail about each character. Here they just kind of show the height, status, classification, whatnot. So I want to show you some of the good guys first, and this video is going to be only over Collection 1, so stay tuned for future videos for the other 2 collections. And let's also show you the Empire as well. Okay. There were 2 Princess Leia figures that were released for the Collection 1 here. This is obviously the monkey face, what they call monkey face Leia, because her face kind of looks like a monkey. And this is basically a repack from the orange card. In fact, if you look, these were both released in 1997. If you look on the back, they actually had dive into detail, just like the one in the orange card. So, pretty common figure. One of the probably most ugly looking figures that I own. I'm not a big fan of that one. This is the Princess Leia Slave Leia. Jabba's prisoner is what they call it technically. And see how this one has a hologram on it and this one doesn't? So that's something to watch out for. Let's see if this is a 00 on the back. And this is a 00 as well, okay? And obviously very little information, just, height, status, etc., so forth. But the detail on this figure, pretty good. And the face, they definitely upgraded the face a lot compared to the monkey face Leia. I've got 3 different Yodas. This one on the left, though, is a little different than these 2. As you can see, not only this has a hologram, these 2 have a hologram, this one does not. But this one my brother got in Europe. And the front is pretty much the same. Obviously, it's in pounds. But on the back, it's got Japanese stuff on it. So that's interesting. So the ones in Europe must have had some Japanese sticker. It's basically a sticker they put on it, but essentially it's the same. There's a lot more information about this character. It seems like the figures that they repacked on the green card, they definitely kept the information on it. So that's interesting. This particular figure was released in 1997. Now, if you have Luke and Dagobah, which I showed you in a previous video, you put him on the back, you put this backpack on him, and he actually balances pretty good when you have Luke or Yoda on his backpack. So that's pretty cool that they thought of that. But Yoda is one of my favorite characters, and the likeness of him is really cool. Here's a repack from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this one was released in 1997 as well. And again, you got more information about him. And the back, they definitely have the short lightsaber here, not the long one, as I showed you in the previous video. But I'm not a big fan of these capes, plastic capes. I thought cloth capes would have been better choice, but that's Obi-Wan. Here's Lando. This is Lando in Calrissian skiff guard, and as you remember him, he's from Return of the Jedi. And the helmet fits on him perfectly, and the detail is really cool. I like the original vintage one as well. I thought it was a pretty cool figure. This one was released in 1986. The back is a little different characters on the back from before. So, and it shows you upcoming action figures. Collect all these, so that's cool. That's Lando. Here's C-3PO. This is a repack from the orange card. And again, he's got all the information on the back, and this was released in 1987. So this figure had already been out for a couple years, just as the other ones. But the likeness is cool. His articulation kind of sucks with this particular figure, though. Here's the Rebel Fleet Trooper. This guy's pretty bulky. This one was released in 1996. Information's on the left there. There's 2 guns. So there are 2 different Lukes in the collection. One, you get the Luke and Stormtrooper, which you get the same head as the original Luke on the orange card, which I showed you, and the helmet fits. And when you put the helmet on, it looks like just like a Stormtrooper. Did a really good job with that. This is actually, there's another Luke and Stormtrooper available on the Death Star Escape 3-pack set, which I'll show you in a later video. Both these figures came out in 1996. Okay, this is Luke in with new likeness. This is ceremonial Luke in ceremonial outfit, and as you can see, his face is a lot better detail. Okay, they definitely upgraded his face, and this is one of the first figures that they released on this line that wasn't a vintage figure. So they never had a vintage Luke in ceremonial outfit, so that's cool. But he's got the medallion, comes on and off, and a pretty cool looking figure overall. There's 2 different Han Solos as well for this collection. You've got the Bespin Han Solo right here. And he's wearing the Bespin guard, you know, the long jacket, long sleeve jacket. 2 guns. And then you've got the Han Solo in Endor gear. These were both released in 1990. This one was released in 1986. This was released in 1997. Interesting, the information on the side here is on the left, not the right like this one. So that's interesting. Okay. Pretty much the same back. Okay, here's the Death Star gunner. And notice this difference here. This one doesn't have a hologram, this one does, but even the image on the hologram is different, which is interesting. That they decided to put a different image on the hologram. This particular figure came out in 1996. This is the Death Star gunner. Okay. I have 2 sand troopers, and they're sand troopers because they kind of have, if you look closely, they've got kind of a sand blast to them a little bit on the armor. Also, they've got the orange shoulder pad on the right shoulder. But this one has a hologram sticker, this one doesn't. And this particular figure was released in 1996. Okay. This is just a remold from the original Stormtrooper. They just put a shoulder pad and a little different color, you know, sandblast on his armor. Here's Greedo. He's a repack from the original orange card as well. He doesn't have all the information though, because he was a later release for the orange cards. This one came out in 1996. Head is very, very small for this particular figure. They did reissue this figure later on, Greedo, and he's got a lot better sculpt. I think his head is a little bit too small, but overall it's not a bad figure. The last figure I want to show you in the collection one is Emperor Palpatine. And they did an okay job on it. Again, it's a plastic cape. It would have been better if it was cloth. It's got the walking stick. And this one came out in 1996. Thanks for watching, guys, and may the Force be with you. Take care until next time. Bye-bye. Hey, Star Wars fans, how's it going? This is Starwarsnut77. Babe, are you gonna keep doing that? Really? Hey, Star Wars fans, this is... Are you done? Are you done? Go outside! Hi, Star Wars fans. How's it going? This is Starwarsnut77. Babe, I'm recording. Killing me. Hey, Star Wars fans. This is Starwarsnut77.